Hi everyone, welcome back to Conversations with KAILEY. So if you did not see last week's video was actually part 1 of our unhealthy relationship series. So make sure you go check that out if you haven't already. But if you have, let's go ahead and get into part 2 of unhealthy relationships. So going along with that, what are some things that people can do to promote healthier relationships?
To promote healthy relationships, I think knowing what you want in a relationship and talking about boundaries with your partner or potential partner is really good, because that, is right there, communication, right? And if you have a good communication and you're, meshing well with the person, then we can discuss boundaries. You're going to respect my wants and needs, and I'm going to respect your wants and needs, and we can have this relationship. And that is a really good start to a really healthy relationship. And if, again, if somebody is not wanting to, you feel that they're not going to go that path, that would be a red flag. But also just, talking about, we always say talking about these things, right, in school is a really good way to promote healthy relationships, because healthy relationships aren't always just with a partner, right? They're also with your friends and things, right? Your friends can be, very mean as well. You can have some toxic relationships with friends or other people in your life, teachers, or, and you feel like when you're being disrespected. And I think talking about respect and what that looks like in any kind of relationship helps to promote healthy relationships. And it's really good to have that practice now as a teenager, figuring out how to have this direct and peaceful communication. It's good practice for, your relationships now, and it kind of leads into better and good relationships as you get older.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. A lot of just educating yourself. Again, people aren't thinking about those behaviors as being unhealthy. And so it's really sort of getting that perspective. And, if you are somebody who recognizes that's not how I would want to be treated, that's not how I think my friends should be treated. And, speaking up, it's hard when everybody else is this is totally normal, you're being the weird one who thinks this is unhealthy. But it makes a difference, because there's other people who feel the same way. And if, a lot of times teenagers and adults find themselves in situations where somebody that they know is saying something or doing something that they don't agree with, and being somebody who can intervene at that moment. And if you see your friend telling their partner, you have to do this with me, or you're not allowed to talk to this person, saying something about that, and be like, hey, why don't you just leave him alone, or leave her alone, or let him hang out and we'll go do this or whatever, so that we're not only not perpetuating it sort of in a first person sense, but sort of as this other person in the scenario, we're letting them know that we don't think it's okay, or letting the other person know that we also don't think that you should be treated that way. And the way that we interact, and starting with the people who we're closest with, nobody wants to think that I know somebody who's in an abusive relationship or an unhealthy relationship. But most people do know somebody. If it's not them, they know somebody who's been in that situation. And it might be their friend or somebody in their family, somebody in their neighborhood. We unfortunately get messages about what's healthy or unhealthy in relationships from everywhere, from media, from music. But starting where we're comfortable, starting with our friends, to be able to say, I don't think that's okay, or I think that you deserve better. Sort of lets them know that you're recognizing those things, you're supportive, and that you want those people who are acting in abusive or unhealthy ways to be held accountable, and not to continue to be able to do that because it's just normal relationship stuff.
Yeah, I know personally I've had a friend that, she wasn't in any danger in her relationship, but it was kind of some of those warning signs you all mentioned about, you can't talk to this person, where are you, send me a picture, I don't believe you. And I definitely could see from an outside perspective that wasn't healthy, and you know, there's only, I feel like, so much that you can do. You know, maybe somebody might always agree with you that is something unhealthy, but I think that is kind of hard sometimes, you know, having to see someone go through that. And I guess maybe just as an outside perspective, as a friend or a family member, all we can really do is just support them and let them know that, you know, we think that these signs and these behaviors are not normal. But for someone that's actually in an unhealthy relationship, what can they do to maybe get out of that situation or find something better for themselves?
I think there's the thought that, you know, well, why doesn't this person get out of the relationship, you know, if they're not happy or something like that. But it's a, you know, common misconception, and I think that, you know, people stay in relationships for various reasons. Depending on how violent it is, it could be worse for the person if they got out of a relationship, because more often than not, the person will get even more violent, unfortunately. So people who do get out of these relationships, after, you know, it takes a lot of times for them, because most of the time they'll go back, you know, several times. But just, I think for young people seeking help, talking to their friends, talking to an adult or two that they trust, talking to a counselor, and just finding that resource that they need, that support that they need to get out. That those people saying, you know, I'm not going to judge you, you know, you do what you need to do, but you know, I'm here for you and I'm listening to you if you need that help and support to get out of this relationship.
Mm-hmm. And people should, you know, everybody's situation is going to be a little bit different, so the option that one person chooses might be something different than the other person. One person might not be able to get out of that relationship at that moment, but in another situation, you might have a friend who is ready and it's like, I just need, you know, to cut ties and be done with this. Some people, especially if there's physical abuse happening, might want to call the police and make a report of assault, and then they have the right to do that. They you know, they could do that. They could make a police report. But somebody who might be in the same situation might not feel comfortable doing that. There's a lot of barriers to reaching out for help, and stigma around what violence and unhealthy relationships look like, but also that maybe if you're a teenager, it's less valid than if you're an adult in an unhealthy relationship. And I think that one of those misconceptions, again, is that it looks different somehow. And one of the things that we talk about in our presentations with youth, with parents, is that the cycle of violence is the same whether you're 15 or you're 55. You know, everybody is going through the same process, and it takes people time, and the reasons that they don't leave are sometimes similar. But that experience is the same. And so it's really just trying to encourage those folks that they're not alone, that a lot of people are going through similar types of situations, so that there are people out there who are willing to help them and believe them and validate their experiences. And it's really just about who they feel comfortable enough talking to. Like Marissa said, about having some of those people that they trust, that they could reach out to. And then, you know, utilizing it. There are resources like online, so like hotlines that they can call to talk to somebody if, you know, they're not sure if they're in an unhealthy relationship or they just have questions. Or if it's anonymous and they just want to be like, I have a friend who, and they're really, you know, so there's a lot of ways that people can get some of that information without, even if they're not ready to tell somebody that, you know, about their own situation. The Love is Respect website, so loveisrespect.org, has so many resources for teenagers specifically. So those are, you know, ideas for those folks who maybe are in that situation and are looking for some help.
Definitely. And I actually was looking at the loveisrespect.org website, just, you know, getting some general information before this video, and it really does have a lot of information. I even looked at the, I think it was like the safety plans and everything like that, and so that was really interesting to me, and it really goes in depth, and I really like all the resources they have on there. And kind of going along with the safety plans, I know that sometimes, you know, situations can become violent or maybe dangerous, so if somebody is in this situation or could possibly be in a situation like this, what should they do? Should they just, call 911, or, what should they kind of do to make sure they're safe?
And I think it goes back to sort of what we said, if they feel like they're able to they can definitely call 911. If they feel like they're in danger, this person's potentially going to harm somebody else, and they just, they want to do something about it, they can take that route. And for some people, it's really gauging their own safety. If that's going to put them in greater harm, then maybe that's not the best option for them. But if they do have some of those connections or support networks in their family, their friends, at their school, at their job, that they can tap into as well, that's an equally good resource if that's something that's available and reliable for them. And so there's not, unfortunately, like one answer of like where everybody should go or what everybody should do in those situations, but it's really important to at least know that you have options available, and that there's not just a one-size-fits-all option, but that, there are different avenues that you can take, and it's really sort of figuring out what's going to be best for you, what's going to keep you most safe, and not put you at greater risk of harm.
Definitely. I had such a great time sitting down and filming these videos because it was just a lot of great information to know for myself, especially going into college where, unhealthy relationships may be more seen than high school. Everybody deals with unhealthy relationships, whether you yourself have been in one or you have seen somebody else. Like they said in the video, statistics say that you will likely have an encounter with an unhealthy relationship, which is really sad and really startling, but now you know some of the warning signs. You also know how to promote healthy relationships, so I really hope you all got something from this video. I will also be having some Tip Tuesdays going along with this unhealthy relationship series, so make sure you stick around for that, and thank you so much for checking out this video. I will see you all next week in Conversations with KAILEY.